On this week, we're talking a little bit about Apple. Are they building a mixed reality headset? Are they not? Is it true? Is it not? You'll find out on this episode of the Actual VR Show. Number 2, Facebook, the most pervasive company in your life today. They now have the ability to track your room as a 3D space. Are they going to use that data for nefarious reasons? I don't know. And finally, people are learning how to cut into you in virtual reality. But it works. See you around. What's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Actual VR Show, the show where we take everything that's going on in immersive tech, immersive news in the week, we boil it down into this bite-sized nugget for your busy day. And this week, we're going to start off talking a little bit about Apple. Apple's been in the news a lot here recently when it comes to mixed reality. They've been working on a headset for a while. They've been pulling patents for years now. We know they're up to something. And if you weren't following the news, recently it was speculated that Apple had relieved all of the workers working on their AR project and sent them elsewhere, essentially suspending all project on an AR headset. But I haven't seen any evidence that suggests either from the company or from sources that I know and trust to validate any of those claims. So I'm going to assume that Apple is continuing to work on this project, but is perhaps waiting for the right moment. Just to further the point, Apple is still taking out patents. Most recently, they took out a patent that would essentially allow an AR mixed reality headset the ability to have 4 Quest-like lenses. If you've seen the Oculus Quest, you'll notice it has 4 cameras on the headset. And this essentially allows you to get a sense for a 3D space. So what Apple is wanting to do is apply the same technology and slap it on their new Apple headset whenever it comes out. So what does this mean for you? How is this relevant to you? Well, what this is a step in the direction of using augmented reality glasses in your everyday life that can recognize your environment and adjust to where you are and make it more relevant for you, make it easier for you to visualize, there are so many possibilities with this technology, with the ability to include a 3D object of any form in a real space. We're actually going to use that as a segue into our second story, and that's about Facebook. As you know, the Oculus Quest has 4 sensors on them. We just talked about that. It's the same reason why you have 2 cameras on the back of your phone. It can sense depth. That portrait mode on your phone that you use so often that blurs out the background, well, that's possible due to the dual lens technology. And essentially what we're doing is we're applying that technology to a headset. So it can get a sense of a 3D space and recreate it for you. This makes setting up your VR room really easy. It tells you exactly where the boundaries are and it keeps it to where you can save this room. But why are we talking about that? Well, we're talking about privacy. 2 weeks ago, we talked a little about Steam VR and concerns with, are they able to store that data? Does Steam VR have a copy of your room? Do they have access to that data? Facebook has specifically said that they do not have access to that. If you read through the privacy policy with the Oculus Quest, with the Oculus Go, it'll state that they don't plan on, that looked like it scared you a lot. You'll see that it specifically says that they store them locally if you want to use them, and only if you give them permission to do so. This is valuable when you want to save a space to where you don't have to set up the room each time. But right now, Facebook says that none of that data is uploaded to a cloud. They don't share any of that information, any of the image data to a cloud, to a server that is yours for now. Did I get a
Okay, Facebook.
So for our third story today, we're going to talk about Also VR. Also VR has created a training platform for surgeons. When we think about VR training, a lot of people don't know what to expect when they get a headset. This information isn't publicly available. A lot of this technology is proprietary, so you won't have an opportunity to look at it, but it's less of this.
Hello everybody and welcome to Surgeon Simulator. My name is Professor Stinkenpoop and I am here to perform surgery on this young individual.
And more this.
All right, John, let's do this.
Yep.
To get that mallet.
Also, VR has indicated that they are training over 1,000 surgeons per month on their platform in 20 learning hospitals. If that's not a sign of success, I don't know what is. Listen, I could tell you about all the different situations and scenarios and companies that have adopted VR training to make their training more effective, more scalable, more efficient. But what is it actually good at? How can you use VR? If you were to use VR for training today, what are the type of things that you would train on? Well, I think it's good for three things. I think when we're talking about soft skill training, so this is best accomplished with 360 video, and it comes with people skills. How do you teach emotional intelligence? Number two is going to be processes. Are you somebody, or do you work in an environment where a process is necessary? This is especially true. We worked on a project for United with Miller Creative where we taught the ground crew the process of checking the airplane before it left the gate. And third, virtual reality is great for mechanical movement memorization or muscle memory. So the surgery VR experience, or this VR surgery training tool, it's do this first, do this second, do this third, and do it this way. Stick it here, grab this over here. So that way when a surgeon enters a space that they've never been in before, they know exactly if they reach behind them, they're gonna touch one of two tools. I definitely don't recommend reaching behind you for a blade, right? But you're gonna know that there are certain tools that are gonna be on the table for you wherever you go. It's a system that will apply to any location. Last but not least, you might have noticed on the late night TV shows that they're talking a lot about Lion King, specifically talking about how Jon Favreau has directed the movie in virtual reality, which we talked about on the show a few weeks ago. But what you may not know, unless you've been watching for a while, we talked about this 2 years ago. Roll the tape! And our second and final story of the day is about Lion King. So as you may or may not know, Disney is releasing a live action version of The Lion King. Guys, thank you for watching the show, those of you that stick around to the end. And you know what? I was at a wedding recently, and I met the first ever person who has watched the show and told me, hey, I watch your show. And I wondered to myself, how many of you are the same? You come by here, you watch me talk about VR news, and you don't let me know you're here. So if you're one of those people, who have been watching, been lurking in the background, watching the content, and you find what we're doing valuable, give us a thumbs up, maybe shoot a little comment. You don't have to do that. Share it, like the page, whatever you need to do. Show me that you love what we're doing so I can tell you how thankful I am that you're here. And remember, if it's news to you, you haven't been watching our show long enough. See you next week. Bye.
Bye. That's so fun.
Oh my God!
Sonic, did you hear that?
The show where we take all the VR news that's happened in the week, we put it in a little bite-sized shrimp cocktail. We put it on a little tray. We serve it to you at your dinner party, so you could sound like you know what you're talking about when it comes to immersive. I want to start over. It wasn't great. No, I tried to recover so many times, and I was like, I don't know.